All right, that's right. Welcome to episode number 9 of Comic.
X Weeb.
Perfect. I am your co-host, James, aka Comics for Cheap, aka hashtag cancel comics for cheap, hashtag cancel culture, hashtag cancel culture comics for cheap. And I have my co-host with me here.
It's your boy Chris, aka Black Santa, aka Why is he running? aka Super Cold Water.
What a
real talk, man. That album is getting fire, bro. Like I was actually talking to Jonah Lucas, and Jonah, he was talking, and he was telling me, bro, like I got to be on this album. Like this is gonna be one of the hottest things ever, and the fact that it's coming out in 2035, it's time.
Wait, this album just keeps getting delayed back.
What? Why do you keep saying that? It's always been the same. Stop hating, James.
I'm not hating. All right, so we have an awesome array of randomness to talk about tonight, which we just planned 5 minutes ago what we were going to talk about. But, our conversations are usually so heavily improv that it is what it is. We just go where it takes us. But we talk about everything pop culture, mostly comic books and movies. And let's just start because have to mention
the anime and the weed part comes from your boy, of course.
That's right. Yes. And let's just start because we were just both mentioning that we were watching some horror movies. So which one did you say that you were watching recently?
Funny enough, because you know me, I'm a big horror movie fan. Like I watched so much of it. I feel like I watched them all at times. But I actually watched Orphan because I know they're making a prequel to Orphan. And I watched Orphan. I think I watched it before, but I didn't pay attention. I really watched it like the other day. And do you mind me talking about it in a spoiler way?
Go for it.
Okay, so spoiler alert. See this movie. It came out in 2009, but hot damn.
12-year spoiler alert.
Basically. So the whole premise is this little girl is she gets adopted by this family and whatever, and she's super manipulative. But no one really picks on for a little while, except for the mother really starts to notice things. The other two children kind of figure it out too, but the father just won't look at it. So the whole thing, I'm not going to go the whole movie because it's just weird, but the ending of it, which is what I found to be something, is you see it all coming. You can tell she's the real threat. But what I did think was interesting and somewhat funny was that the ending is she's actually a 33-year-old girl.
She
looks like
I remember that. Right, because she seduced the dad, right? In
she was trying to, but he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. What is wrong with you?"
That's
but
right.
In reality,
I remember that being a controversial thing at the time because it looked like basically a 9-year-old was trying to fuck this old dude.
And the key thing is, when she played that role, she really was like 12 or 13. She's only 24 now.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. So she was like super young. Yeah. There was this whole thing about
they had her super dolled up and everything, like makeup, all that stuff, and then they had her do the seduce scene or whatever. And obviously,
I remember that.
But I was like, this is weird. And then it was like, oh, she's 33, blah blah blah, and like she's been super manipulative and this and that. And then
she got that weird disease that she looks young.
Yeah. Right. That's what she has. And then the way it ends is, I guess she's dead. I'm assuming she is because she gets kicked into like this thing of water, of ice water. So I'm assuming
she dies from ice water.
Yeah, she gets kicked into. So they're like her and the mother basically start fighting on like this ice thing, and like this like floor of ice. And they both kind of fall through, and then the mother gets out, and then the girl's trying to get out too, and she's like, "Please help me, please, I love you. I'm your daughter, love me." And she's like, "Oh fuck you!" And she kicks her in the thing, and then I guess she drowns or freezes to death. I don't know, but they're making a prequel of it. And
so, what's with horror movies going back and making prequels? I mean, what's your take on that? Because the series that Alexis and I just started watching is all the Annabelle related movies, like Annabelle and Conjuring and everything. So they have gone back, and then they've gone back before a prequel to make like a pre-prequel, and then like tried to continue it so like watching it's very strange because one of the movies will be just come out last year, and then the next movie was one of the first movies to come out, and then it comes out to another one that was like more recent. So like the quality is shifting back and forth, and like I don't know. So how do you feel about horror movie franchises, or really any movie franchise, going back and doing a prequel?
Sometimes it can be okay, but I do feel horror movies rely on it way too much. And like with the orphan situation, I think it's a terrible idea to do a prequel to this movie because one, now you have to portray her because she's still playing the role as Esther. So now you have to portray her as being even younger, and you have to make it where they said they're gonna use like a bunch of CGI, which is like, okay, you guys don't have that Marvel budget, so this should be interesting.
Right.
And then it's like we already know what the movie ending is because, for at least from what I read, the movie is going to take place into the event what they would talk about during the movie, where before she got to this family, she was in another family and she killed them all and like burned the house down, so everybody died and she was the only survivor. So we already know
they've already spoiled the ending,
right? So we already know the ending to the prequel.
Right. So that's another thing because. Yeah, that's very similar to the Annabelle ones where you kind of know, like, because they harp on it, like in some of the other ones where they're talking about, oh yeah, that's the most evil doll. Why is it evil? Well, it did all this crap, and then it's like you go back and it's like them doing all that crap that they just talked about. So it does take a little bit of the surprise element out of it, or who's going to make it kind of to the end that some people will watch for. Yes.
So yeah, I definitely agree. So what do you think though? Are you the biggest fan of the prequels, or you feel pretty much the same as me, where it's relied on a little too much?
I mean, with something that's not, something that's not as serious, like these little slasher flicks or whatever, that you're kind of just going to watch anyway. I don't think it's as big a deal. But if it's something like Star Wars, this huge, franchise that people have roots dug into and collector's items and have money invested in certain things, they're really huge fans. I dare you to find a fan movement like that for a horror movie, you know what I mean? So like for something like that, for them to go around and fuck around with prequels and changing canon and storylines and stuff like that, I think it's definitely tougher for me to get behind than it's a talking doll that kills people or whatever. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. It's my only thing, at least with the Star Wars stuff. Now, I'm not the biggest fan when they just randomly start changing lore when they don't really need to. But I do think because of the history and the story that Star Wars tells, going back in time to tell other Jedis or Sith stories, definitely considering towards the latter part, the Siths and Jedis are kind of dying out and they're pretty much gone. To go back and tell those stories, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think that's okay because there's so many great battles that happen that you hear about that it would be really cool to actually see go down, or so many cool Jedis or Sith that you hear about, which would be really great to see it actually happen. So I'm okay with that. My biggest thing with horror movies, though, is just like it's always usually the same because you already know that the evil entity is going to survive anyway because they're here now. So it's like you're telling a story that we already know the ending to. At least with Star Wars, they just if you tell like a vague story of some Jedi, you actually don't know how his or her ending actually went down. You don't know what actually happened. You just know, oh, they did something cool. So you can actually go through and tell a story and morph it the way you really want to. Just make sure that scene that you talked about still happens. In horror movies, to me, it's a little bit different because it's like, well, we already know how all of this went down because they're still here. They're still doing this. They're still killing. So
I mean, probably not going to want to kill it so that they can keep it open for future sequels and stuff. So
yes,
I mean that's just kind of the name of the game with horror movies, especially. Obviously,
it doesn't even matter if you kill it because it could just come back anyway. They usually just come back no matter what you do anyway.
Yeah, you kill it, goes away for a couple of years, it comes back. No, just when my life was getting good.
Yes, it either kills the person that took it out, or it just randomly leaves that person alone, and now it's in it was in freaking the United States, now it's up in Japan causing trouble. So it's just I do want to say this real quick. I want to give a shout out to the Stanford women's basketball team for winning their national championship. Props to them. As well as, did you see the shot in the Gonzaga UCLA game?
Bruh,
no, I didn't. That is going down. Is definitely one of those shots that will forever be put in highlight reels when you're talking about the NCAA men's basketball. Like forever, it's going to go down. Jalen Suggs, like they had like UCLA tied the game, right? And then another play was going down, and then like you get a block shot, you get a perfect inbound pass after everything.
Hold on.
Good pass.
We might be able to share what we're talking about here.
Okay. Yeah. All right, that works. Yeah, so you can actually just see it. I don't even need to say nothing. You can just watch it, and then tell me what you think about it.
All right, so we got to share.
It's pretty much type of Jalen Suggs.
Maybe, if it'll work for me. I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah, it might not work for me.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
You get this pass, and this dude just chucks it from like half court. He takes a Steph Curry Dame shot, and it just goes in. And then he runs over there. He keeps Gonzaga's undefeated streak alive. So now they're playing a national championship. It's number 1 against number 1, Gonzaga against Baylor tonight. Gonzaga's undefeated, looking to go completely, run the table. He keeps this thing alive. He runs over. And he says the first thing came to his mind is Kobe Bryant. So he jumped on the table and started doing the iconic thing that Kobe did. He also mentioned D Wade doing it too. It was just an amazing shot, man. Like the shot was freaking sick. And the game was really good too, because it ended like 90-93 after that shot that won the game. Like it was a solid game and just a solid shot from this kid to just end it all. And what's funny about it, he was one of the most highest recruited kids for Gonzaga. So for him to come through like that in a big time play, that's just really. Yeah.
Because I mean, especially it isn't far out of reach for a lot of those highly recruited people to flop. So it's good that he came in and kind of showed what he could do on a shot. I wish I could show it, but my computer is acting up right now, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
It's all good, but I just wanted to bring that up. That was a good shot. I'll probably send you the video later or something, but that was a pretty good shot. I enjoyed that shot. That was pretty cool.
Very good. Very good. Now, how about let's talk about, did you see the new Loki trailer?
I have not seen that trailer.
New Loki trailer. Woohoo. That's out. Okay. I'm very excited for this show. I can't wait to see this version of Loki. And I think a lot of versions of Loki, if we're not mistaken here, with going forward on the show. With the time variant authority and the timekeepers and everything like that. I think it'll be really cool. But it seems to show him altering the time, or like because he took the Tesseract at the end of Endgame and went back in time. So now it's post Avengers 1 Loki, and it kind of shows how he destroyed all the realities basically. Because he just did that right there and refuses to return the Tesseract. So I think it'll be really awesome. I'm excited to see how Owen Wilson can do as was it Mobius or something like that is the character he's playing. So that'll be cool. And just different versions of Loki too, because I think there's going to be the female Loki. I think there's going to be Kid Loki. And we're going to see like just how dark Loki messed up this time.
So, first off, why come you didn't tell me about this trailer or send me the trailer?
Because I just watched it like not that long ago. I noticed that there was a new trailer, and I was like, "Ooh, I gotta watch it."
That's not an excuse. You could have seen the trailer while you was watching it or before you watched it. And I could have been like, yeah, I saw it, and this is what I think, but you didn't do that, so all right. No, I do think that's really cool. I'm wondering, like, are they gonna? Because of course, with Loki, you're gonna have funny moments. Because I mean, at the end of the day, Loki is like the god of mistress. So mistress. So he's gonna be funny. He's gonna do funny stuff, do crazy stuff. He's gonna have some jokes here and there. But do you think it's gonna be a more darker tone than like some of the dark stuff that happened in WandaVision, or do you think it's going to be more of a?
I don't know if it's going to be as dark as WandaVision. I think it'll definitely have dark elements. I think the purpose of the show is going to be setting up Kang. So since he is the main time traveling, bad guy, aside from Loki, if you want to call Loki a villain at this point, I guess he is coming right out of being the main villain. So he's going to be in villain mindset for a minute. I think he's going to be the villain and the hero, like at the same time. He's going to have to fight alternate versions of himself. But yeah, I think it's going to set up Kang. I think it's going to maybe hint towards Fantastic Four. But I don't think it'll be like just soul crushingly dark like Loki emotionally, for Loki. I think it'll just be like, hey, he did some twisted stuff in some of these timelines that now he has to fix. Whether it's him or female Loki or kid Loki or whatever it is.
I'm wondering if they're gonna go down a route where at the end we get Kid Loki from like a sacrifice that the Loki that is currently doing this thing does, and that what turns him into Kid Loki.
That would be cool.
I think that would definitely be cool. But I'm still saying that the original Loki is going to show up at some point in time, and he's gonna be like,
You still think that?
I'm still going with it, man.
Didn't kill him?
Jump off that horse. I gotta ride it to the end, bro. He's going to show up, and something's gonna go down. No matter what, I'm sticking to it. He will show up at some point in time, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. I'm hoping it happens exactly at the end when Kid Loki shows up, and like everything seems all good, and he just walks out the shadows, and he's just like, so that's what happened. Like I just want something crazy to happen, but I'm sticking with it, man.
All right. I can't have too much faith in that one, because I think that's why the Time Variant Authority is after him so hard, is because he's supposed to go down one path and die by the hand of Thanos, because you know what I mean? So I think that him avoiding his natural death is what has got him triggered so much in the
but how many times have Loki done that in the comics though?
Yeah.
That's Loki's whole thing is faking and getting out of situations like that.
Well, faking his death to run away, sure, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
What would be the difference in this situation? He faked his death to get away from Thanos.
It's true. He
knew he wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
He knew he wasn't going to survive if he stayed there and went down that path. So he faked it. Maybe. I'm just saying. That's what I'm going with. Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, then he's a real dick for everything that happened in the rest of the movie and Endgame. But I guess it could be that he hid in a place kind of like Sakaar or something like that, where he was just kind of chilling and became Emperor or Lord Loki or whatever of the area.
So you telling me that Loki had to sacrifice himself for everybody else? Like that's what you got to do?
No. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. I'm just saying that after you play dead, and then you come back sometime later to help out in a situation, maybe, instead of just, all right, deuces.
But what if there was never the right opportunity to show back up and help?
I don't know.
Or what if it's a thing where he used so much power, whatever happened, he was stranded where he was and he couldn't do anything, and now he just regained enough energy to do something.
Okay. Maybe.
I'm saying there's ways you can write it out where it makes sense, and you don't have to make it, you don't have to be like, oh, he just cowardly ran away. Or at the end of the day, it's freaking Loki. Maybe he did just cowardly run away.
Hey, you really want that Loki to show up in the show.
You're damn right I do. I didn't get the X-Men in WandaVision, so I need something to come through here. All right?
No X-Men so far in the WandaVision. I think they're really going to try to get their ducks in a row on that one, and do it right and release it correctly, instead of trying to rush any kind of cameo or anything like that, because I mean we already saw what happened with Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, and any of the last few X-Men projects have been hot trash, dumpster juice, and we would prefer, I'm sure, everyone to have going forward some solid storylines and appearances and mutant movies that aren't the trash that we have been presented with so far.
Of course, I fully agree with that. But I have to say, it's the X-Men. If they showed the X-Men in WandaVision, they don't even have to do anything else from that point forward until they really need to. They could have just had them show up or just a sign of that, and everybody would have flipped their lid because of how popular the X-Men is, because people want the X-Men in the MCU, that they still could have just hinted at it, legitly hinted at it, and shown something that says, oh, the X-Men are here.
Well, we're getting a lot of X-Men hints now in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, between Madripoor and Smiling Tiger, and even with the Power Broker a little bit.
All right, since we're here, let's actually go into that then real fast. So, after watching episode 2, which I'm still angry about you because you didn't tell me about the Power Breaker, you know, I'm bringing that up. Little bastard. But I did think was interesting, you know, in episode 3 and everything, and me and you was briefly talking about it, really getting to it now. It seemed that he does not have his powers, that John Walker, U.S. agent, or, you know, Patriot, whatever you want to go with, U.S. agent, I think he is now, I'm assuming, that he does not have his powers because he didn't display any of them. And he, or at least like you said he might be holding, he potentially could be holding in or whatever the case may be. But it really looks like he doesn't have his powers. So
so I'm with you on that one. I think that that John Walker, he's being called Captain America right now, but he's in the U.S. agent suit, so we're just calling him U.S. agent. That I don't think he's gotten any version of the serum at this point. Now in the comics, he gets like a diluted version of the serum.
He gets
he has. Yeah, he has exactly from the Power Broker. And he does have limited, not as strong as Cap or Bucky or anything like that, but he does get a version of the serum.
Well, to be fair, in the comics, when he gets his stuff, he's actually stronger than Cap. He's physically
stronger than Cap?
Yes, he is. He's physically stronger. He's just not like as skilled as Captain America, but he's physically stronger than Captain America. Because he was even talking about he can live up to like 10 tons or something, or 7 tons. He was like making a little talk about it. And he was like, Cap can only do like at max 1. And then when Cap fought him and punched him, he was like, damn, it's like punching my fist into a brick wall. And it was like swelling up and everything. So he's physically stronger than Captain America.
Okay.
Yes.
He does go on to lead the West Coast Avengers as like a West Coast version of Cap, kind of like their leader. So he isn't necessarily an evil character in the comics. He is darker. He's more violent version than Cap, than Steve Rogers Cap. But I think with the show, they're going to show up a little more of the evil side. I think that's what's gonna come, because you can see that he's definitely has anger right at the surface. Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of anger. When the dude spit in his face, looked like he punched that guy with all his might in the stomach, which only caused him to double over. That's the only reason why I don't think he has anything yet. I think he's gonna steal one of the remaining 12 vials of serum and administer it himself, or maybe even administer to his little sidekick as well.
If I keep saying Power Breaker, I was playing a lot of I forgot the name of the damn game, but I was playing a fighting game earlier, and it also
Combo Breaker.
Combo Breaker and all that. But yeah, Power Broker. So you don't think Power Broker is going to give him the powers? You think he's going to get it from one of the other terms?
I think he's probably going to steal it from the Flag Smashers.
Will supply.
Well, if the Power Broker gets up with the Flag Smashers first and wins or steals back the serum, then yes, then that case, I think U.S. Agent would go to Power Broker, and Power Broker would work a deal to do.
Of course, there's always a time catch.
Yeah, always a deal. Yeah, but otherwise, if they don't go that route, I can definitely see U.S. Agent going after the Flag Smashers himself, trying to steal it that way, so that he can pump himself up and become like, the true Captain America. kind of in his own mind anyway.
His reason for doing it, right? Like he wants to make sure he lives up to the legacy or what he feels the legacy should be. Now, maybe
he's definitely genuine about that.
Those things where he was on the right path of the legacy, and then over time he started kind of getting diluted, and the actual legacy kind of got warped into what he thinks it should be. But I think, that's going to be what eventually drags him to doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he does want to be the best. Like there is a very egomaniac version that plays in that I want to make sure that I don't let anyone down. I want to be the greatest Captain America, and nobody's going to get in my way of doing that kind of thing. He even said to Winter Soldier and Sam, you better stay the hell out of my way. Even though he delivered that line really cheesy, I don't feel like it was menacing at all. But he did say, you need to stay the hell out of my way. So I think that we're going forward, we are going to see him kind of slip up and lose control with some of that anger, and him kill like not someone that he should kill kind of thing. Because Cap would kill people. He killed a whole boatload of people in the opening scenes of Winter Soldier. So he just ran around like a crazy dude killing people by kicking them off the side of the boat and stuff. So
they swam to shore.
Yeah, of course. But he never just straight snapped on someone and killed them for something trivial. So I think that's what's going to happen with John Walker. He's going to snap on someone and just kill them, and then we're going to kind of see, the real side of him come through a little bit.
Well, how about so another thing that can also make him go down that route is you can see the hesitant from like plain simple. They don't like the guy very much, but you can see that from Sam and Bucky that they're just like, this is bullcrap. So that also might make him go down that path. It's like, look, I'm trying, and no one here is helping. They're not believing that I'm trying to help them. But it also brings to this stuff. If you was a member of the Avengers and you survived all this crap, and then out of nowhere, this guy is looked at as the big Captain America, would you just bring him in with open arms? Definitely. No. The Captain didn't choose him. Like Steve didn't choose him.
Steve didn't choose him, right? Which is what Bucky's main problem is that that's his main issue with Sam right now, obviously, is that, Steve chose Sam to be captain, and he feels like it's disrespectful that Sam gave up the shield and doesn't want to be captain, just kind of like tossed it aside. I think he even says that he gave you the shield and you tossed it away or something like that. But yeah, so I definitely wouldn't want to, some random person now be the leader of the Avengers. I wouldn't want the Avengers to be government controlled either. So what side of the Civil War I would be on there. And so, but now it's either
Cap side.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe I am captain. I mean, it's the way that they gave the decision. It's either you are working for the government or you are not a hero. So a lot of the heroes are probably officially going to retire until this whole situation kind of blows over, or they're going to be on the run like Sharon is.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I do think that's an interesting situation there to be in, where you're made Cap, but the other Avengers obviously, let's be honest, I can't think of any Avenger that would legitly really open, bring him in with open arms, at least from the main cast. Let's be honest, if Iron Man was still there, he's not going to just be like, oh yeah, come on over, have a good time. Iron Man's gonna be nah, screw this guy, I don't even care, I'm just gonna go have a drink. Right. I don't even think Black Widow would be super oh, this is cool. Maybe if she's forced to for a mission, but I don't think she'll be open arms oh, okay, this is all good. I don't know any, and Hulk wouldn't care. So he's not going to also maybe Small Hulk will care. I don't care, but he's not regular Hulk's not going to give a damn. He's no. I got some things to worry about. I'm about to turn green right now. So I mean, he's put in a bad spot, but because he has think about who he has to live up to again. Like we said last week, the Captain freaking America And if what we're thinking is true, he doesn't even have anything boosting him right now. He's a regular guy.
Yep.
He doesn't have the experience that Steve Rogers has neither. So if a catastrophic event happened where aliens showed up, he is the last guy I'd want out there leading.
Right. Oh, yeah, for
honestly,
sure.
Even if he gave a speech, I would ignore him. If I was to an event, I would completely ignore him and say, yo, I might knock this dude out and get him to safety because I don't the liability with him being here. Like I honestly think he would be a liability. The other heroes would have to save him. So it's like that's gonna probably creep into his head too, all that stuff. So they have an opportunity to make a very interesting character here. And have like really show like he's turning evil, but it's not completely like his fault.
And you do bring up a good point. A couple good points actually. So one, if it was U.S. Agent or John Walker on that cop car in the first Avengers movie where he tells them to set up the perimeter and everything like that, and then they're like, "Why the hell should we listen to you?" And then he turns around and like destroys 3 aliens or whatever. If it was John Walker, is he destroying the 3 aliens? Does he have that credibility now? Or that he should be the one doing the leader? He couldn't fucking knock a couple of people off of a tractor trailer moving at 60 miles an hour.
Exactly.
And one of them was a little girl. So into the eyes of a police officer, it's like, all right, well, you're worthless. But then the other point that you made, I can't remember, but it was a good point. Well, it was right at the end. But it was an excellent point. It was like something you said right at the end. It made me think of something. And I was like, oh man, that was good.
It was good, but I can't remember, even though you just said it.
Oh man.
Okay.
I don't know. It was something in there. But going to the chat over here, someone was saying, JBK's dad said, if Steve was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. The line that Winter Soldier says to Sam in the little therapy session, that line was delivered very well. And you could really feel the power in that scene where he when he was like he was even shaking when he delivered that line, which was really good. Definitely some excellent acting there. And what's the other one? Let's see. They're taking from the comics so much and then just tweaking it a little bit. Yep. Someone says Puck is the power broker.
Yes.
And then JVK's dad says, damn, Chris would punch a drowning man in the face in order to calm him down so he can save him. Gotta respect that.
Yes, I would. All of us, no matter what to do, I will save you. All right. So yeah.
But yes, the other point that you made, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That John Walker, like it's almost not his fault that he'll start to digress. It's all the pressure that's being put on him, and then all the other heroes not really working with him or giving him a chance. That's going to be what kind of isolates him or pushes him away to become. I wouldn't say I really don't think he's going to be evil. I don't see that happening.
Really.
Yeah, I don't think he's really going to be fit to be a hero. I just think he's going to be almost like a power-hungry cop kind of thing. More than anything, I think, beat the wrong people type of thing, and not necessarily evil, but definitely not what he's supposed to be doing as Captain America.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also want to ask you this one now. So, do you think that Sam Wilson, because we didn't really talk about it last time, and we'll get to the other stuff, but after someone's like, do you think that Sam was wrong to flat out give up the shield the way he did? Because I will say, him like giving the shield away like that, I do agree that part was wrong. And to me, that was kind of disrespectful. He probably should have kept the shield and put it somewhere else and said, all right now I'm not ready for this. If I become ready, I'll get it. But if I never become ready, it's at least safe here, or at least it's going to be here, instead of just handing it off. And then now the government was able to easily get it back and just give it to whoever the hell they felt fit to be Captain. Their choice to be Captain America.
Right.
Whoever they felt was worthy enough to do it, which honestly is always a bad idea. So I think
it seemed like
what are you?
They had someone kind of ready for that moment anyway. It seemed. So I think that Sam was genuinely telling the truth when he said he didn't know that the government would automatically just give it to someone else. I think in his heart, he really felt like, he couldn't fill the shoes of Steve Rogers, and therefore wanted the shield to be with his other stuff in the museum. That's where he wanted it. And then obviously the government was like, "Oh, thanks for your donation to the museum," and then just takes the shield. So I don't think it was wrong for him to have done that if that's really how he felt in his heart, that he wasn't ready for it, or he couldn't fill those shoes, nobody could fill those shoes type of situation. But now that he sees, oh, they're just gonna let anybody fill those shoes. Well, no, motherfucker, if it's gonna be anyone, it's gonna be me, kind of thing. So even though he still says that he doesn't want it, right? Like when Bucky was like, "Well, let's go steal the shield," and he's like, "Do you remember what happened last time?" kind of thing. He still is kind of not geared, or he doesn't seem like thrilled with the prospect of being Cap. But we already have seen trailer footage of him throwing the shield and practicing with the shield and stuff. So we know that's the direction that it's going. It's just we got to see how the character builds to get to that point emotionally, because right now he doesn't want it. It seems like that's where his head is at.
Yeah, I do get that, but again, I really do feel it was kind of disrespectful, because it's just like,
yeah, no, it was. Yeah,
somebody go on.
Go ahead. No, I was agreeing that it is disrespectful, because I mean he gave the shield to him and said, "You are Cap."
Yeah, and then you just give it away. It's kind of just like, and again, I understand. I fully agree with you. I don't think he knew that the government was going to get their hands on it, but at the same time, I kind of feel that he's a little
naive,
because you should know that the government is going to get their hands legitimately on something like that. Like, honestly, you shouldn't even be shocked that they want to pick their own Captain America. This is the government, and Captain America is the guy. So they're going to want to put their own guy in that seat. Especially, you would think the government would definitely, at their end game, would be to have somebody in the Avengers who's on their payroll.
Right.
So there's no way I wouldn't think it would go to them.
Yeah, JBK's dad says, "Why is everyone in the show acting like Steve Rogers is dead? It's only been 6 weeks." Yeah, it is supposed to take place a couple months after the events of Endgame. Yeah, so a few months is definitely enough time for them to have debriefed everything that had happened, especially since they are military property, so they would technically have to report to all the generals and military and government officials that want to know exactly what just happened, that half the world just showed back up out of nowhere. So, I'm sure that they would have brought up, "Oh, by the way, Steve Rogers went back in time and lived it out that way." And so he's no longer
either they
with us.
know that Steve Rogers is time traveling, or they might know that he's just an old man now, or either way, the only thing they might even know that he's just not there anymore. He's gone.
Like, they might have just said, "Hey, he didn't make
that's
it."
All that matters.
Like, hey, maybe so that just in case they wouldn't mess with him in the future if they found a way, or the technology, or if that information led to a villain and the villain wanted to go back in time and do some shit, especially since we're about to come up on some time traveling villains that might want to go back in time and beat the shit out of Captain America for no reason. So they probably just said that he didn't make it, like in the like Thanos killed him or something like that, and
he's just not here. And I mean, just think about, look at what happened. And this is another reason why I felt that Sam was completely just naive at the whole situation. Think about what they did in Iron Man. When Iron Man's own boy, the government was like, "Yeah, you need to do this. Like, you need to take the suit and you need to do what we tell you to do." And what did he do?
Oh yeah,
he did it. So it's just like, look at what they would do. They went after Iron Man's own best friend to tell him to follow orders. You really don't think they're going to get that shield? You really think they're just going to let it sit in the museum and everything's going to be okay? This is the symbol right here. They're not letting that happen, bro. Like, you should have known they were going to do something where, honestly, it was just in your best interest to either just keep the shield and just figure something out instead of just giving it to them.
Yeah. But now with the passion that Bucky has to get the shield, you think he's going to try to like get it for himself now?
He could. That could be how it actually goes down. Yeah, dude, it would be kind of funny is at the end they actually have a fight. They actually something happens that sparks them into a, which I could see happening actually, that they get some type of fight over who should be Captain America. It might not be that cut and dry, but that's going to be like the whole premises of the whole fight. Really, is it boils down to who should be Captain America, and they end up getting a fight over that. Like those two just end up going at it, which obviously, they're not going to like kill each other. Something's going to happen.
Right.
They hug it out and go take care of. Maybe John is the main villain, whatever. They figure something out, but
I think
they're going to come to blows for something like that.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see them at least slapping each other a couple times. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't happened yet, where they haven't like smacked the back of each other's head or something silly like that. You know what I mean?
They're probably just saving that frustration.
Yeah. JBK's dad says that Steve's blood would be worth a lot to the military and anyone on the black market. That's true. So that'd be a good reason to say that, or not mention that Steve was in fact alive or stayed back in time or anything like that. I didn't even think about that because think of all the tests that they did on Isaiah. And they even brought that up in this newest episode that we found the doctor that was doing all the tests on Isaiah's blood and was the one who got the closest to replicating the serum. And then finally did succeed with 20 vials of a newer, sleeker product.
Damn. Thinking of Isaiah, like, it sucks when you don't get the legit, like, obviously it's kind of hard to get the legit version of Super Soldier Serum. There's a reason why everything else is basically just duplicates and, great choice versions of it. But Isaiah got like a really bad deal. Like, yeah, he's still all big and strong, but in like the comics and everything, eventually he gets to a point where he's just like the mind of a child. Like he suffered so much because the serum wasn't right, and it messed him up. Obviously, it made him sterile, and then it just ruined him. Like, that just sucks. Like, it's just like, dang, do you want to go through something like that? Like, eventually you're just gonna have the mind of a child again.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen to you. Like,
I really hope that we get a flashback scene with Isaiah because they did age up the actor for that scene where we saw him recently. So I'm hoping that we actually get to see the throwdown between him and Bucky. Would be really cool. So that would be a nice little flashback scene. I know we're not done with Isaiah though. He's definitely such an important factor, being as his blood is what created this new generation of super soldiers. So it would just be silly to gloss over that whole fact that they set that whole scene up and everything in the second episode. And then at the end of the third episode, our mind fuck was in fact that Wakanda is coming into play with this show. So that, dude, I got so hyped when AO was on screen because at first I didn't recognize the bead that Bucky picked up. I was like, what has he got? Like, I was like, what in the world is that? And then when he turned around and you started hearing the drums, and I was like, oh, please be someone. And yet there was AO. And I was like, oh man, that was so awesome. So now we get to figure out how they're gonna, or what they're doing as far as what's going on in Wakanda.
That's true. And again, it makes sense, obviously, with his ties to Wakanda. I mean, he's like an honorary member, basically. So, it makes sense for them to show up, and that's really cool. And I think it's going to be awesome. It just really sucks. And honestly, I'm be honest with you, I couldn't get as hyped. I just felt nothing but saddened, like just being sad because Black Panther's gone. And it honestly, I was just like, oh man, this sucks.
Do you think it would have been actually?
Sucks. I think it's cool that they're bringing them in, but I was just like, man, this is a downer for me, and it shouldn't be. It should be a hype moment.
Right. Do you think that if Chadwick was still with us, it would have been T'Challa showing up at the end of that episode 100%. Instead of AO?
100% would have been him. There's no question about it. It would have been him. He would have showed up, and that would have been super hype because it would have been more cooler for him to show up anyway. So it definitely would have been him. But obviously, it's so weird because I got very mixed feelings of it. But honestly, I think my overall thing is I think they should recast Black Panther But do you think they should or they shouldn't recast him? Because I feel like you have to do something. I'm sorry. You can't
such a tough one.
It's a big. I understand that. I really do. I do get that. But it just comes down to, I mean, I understand because of who, he died and how sad and how everything was. Black Panther's a big player.
He is a big player.
Just completely take him out of the situation forever, I don't think that's really a good idea. And then if you use Siri and you make her the next Black Panther, that's fine and dandy too, I suppose. But you're still switching out Black Panther no matter what. But I'm just like, I think that you have to have Black, because remember, she doesn't do the role for that long, right? Because she's not Black Panther now, so she does get switched out. You can't just have him never show up ever again. I'm sorry. It sucks.
I know Kevin Feige did say that they are going to reveal how they're going to, I guess, write him out. I know his plans are not to recast him at all, saying that Chadwick's shoes couldn't be filled. Whether there are some theories that they're going to go with.
I sound like a jerk. I really do, but I gotta say it. That's not 100% true. Because that's just like saying that they should never recast Wolverine because you can never fill Hugh Jackson's shoes. That's not necessarily
a little different.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's going to sound like I'm being a jerk. Like,
no, I know what you're saying.
Finishing what he did. I'm definitely not. That dude was amazing. He was so cool. And honestly, he is a role model to all Black people. That dude was awesome, man. Good human being. Just didn't complain about dying or anything. Didn't even tell anybody really. Just handled his business. Nothing but respect for this dude. I mean it when I say this, and it hurts for me to say it like this. But you can't just say no one can ever play back Black Panther again. That's just not how that works. That's so like saying no one can ever, like, I'm not even gonna go there because that's that analogy. I was gonna use a basketball analogy, but I don't know if that really works. But the point is, you can't just say no one can ever play that role again. That's just not how that works. That's not smart.
So Ian's bringing up the fact that they did recast someone already, where they recast James Rhodes. That was a little bit different situation though, where it was an actor difficulty, because it was Cuba Gooding wanted more money, wasn't that? Well, then like they were paying Tony or Robert Downey Jr. So of course they said no.
He's angry at Robert Downey Jr. because he didn't support him enough when he went to get his new money.
What they did? What? Wait, what?
The guy. We're talking about. I'm making sure we're talking about the situation with the Iron Man, right?
Yeah, where they replaced Rhodey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the original guy, he wanted a new deal, and he was angry at Robert Downey Jr. for not supporting him enough. He said, "He was pissed. He was like, that dude didn't support me the way he should have. Because if he would have said something, I probably would have got something." So they replaced him, obviously. Oh, real quick before I let you finish, the guy who plays the stuff now, he's also in the Space Jam trailer.
Don Cheadle is the Rhodey now.
Yes, he is in the Space Jam trailer.
That's cool. Yes. Is he taking a dump on Michael Jordan's grave, or what's his role there?
Christ with this, James. No, but if it makes you feel better, he kind of put LeBron James in something and dumps it out. So he kind of puts LeBron in space butt and then shits LeBron out into the cartoon world.
Oh, excellent. That's fantastic.
Yes, it's all with computerized stuff. It's really weird. You should see the trailer because it's really weird. But yeah,
I'll have to see it for sure. But going all the way back here to Black Panther. So there are theories that they are going to do alternate reality Killmonger as Black Panther, like almost like a what if he had taken the throne type thing, or what if he was had grown up differently or and in Wakanda and became Black Panther correctly. So there's that, and then there's obviously a lot of people thinking that Shuri is going to take the mantle as Black Panther, and we're just going to have Shuri be Black Panther going forward. Either way, I think now
you can say this, and I know I said that years ago matter of fact, after the first Black Panther came out, didn't I tell you that's what I'm pretty sure they're going to go down that route no matter what?
Yes.
So
yeah, because then you started complaining about Riri too.
A lot of people probably saw that, but I'm saying I would be beyond shocked they didn't go down that
path. Yeah, no, I think not Kubo. I'm sorry, it was Terrence Howard. You're right. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I really like the character Shuri as so far, how they've presented her in the movies. I just don't know about her as a warrior because they've only really shown her brains and not her brawn type of thing. So while she is one of the smartest people on Earth and she wields amazing technology, I don't think I don't know. I can't see her as a fighter right now because she hasn't been a fighter, period. What is she like stuck up for herself maybe one time, two times where she fought the dude that came in while she was operating on Vision. That was it. That was really the extent, and she was shooting a gun and in that scene. So it wasn't even like a fight. She was just kind of I don't know.
So what they're probably going to do is just do a flashback of her training, or they're going to mention it. They might end up mentioning it in the Winter Soldier. This stuff with Bucky and they might end up mentioning not the Winter Soldier, but the stuff with Bucky and Sam. They might end up mentioning that in Falcon and Winter Soldier, she's been training right now as we speak. She's training now. She's being trained by school. And they do like a montage, maybe a movie or another episode of her training. Or training in this episode. They're probably just going to go down. I'll be honest with you. They're just going to go down a route. Either way, they're just going to mention. They're just going to throw it in there. Oh, she's trained, or she's been training this whole time, or right now she's training with T'Challa. That's why he's not here. Whatever the case may be, they're just going to mention it, and then they're just going to go from there.
Right, because I think the way that they're saying it is that in this time right now, when Falcon and Winter Soldier is occurring, nothing has happened to T'Challa right now. So presumably in this universe, Black Panther still exists. But I know they've said they're not going to do like deep fakes or CGI with Chadwick's face or anything like that. So they're not going to like do any kind of like prolonged scene like that.
And they should.
No, they definitely shouldn't. But it's going to be interesting just to see how they which direction they go and how they decide they're going to write it. Because I mean I have faith that they're not going to overly fuck it up, right? I mean it's definitely it's a hard situation to tiptoe around. I don't think there's no I feel like there's not really one right way in as far as like pleasing an audience, right? So no matter what they do, there's going to be people that are like, okay, I can see this happening, and then there's going to be people that are like, this is garbage. Like no matter what route they went, that's kind of going to be the reaction that they're facing. So as long as they can present a believable course of action and not have like lazy writing or just kind of gloss over something, just be like, as long as they have history and a story and it's like somewhat believable, I think they'll be okay with which choice they make, because the reaction is really going to be either you're on board or you think it's garbage.
And at the end of the day, come on, that's always their reaction, right? Like no matter what goes down, there's always people that's gonna like, love it, overlove it, hate it, dislike it, hate it more than they really should. Like it's always gonna be that kind of reaction where no matter what you do in anything, you're just always gonna get that crappy kind of reaction, and that sucks. But that's just kind of what it is, unfortunately. So to me, again, I just hope they stick with their guns. Whatever they go with, just stick with it and just don't try to backtrack. Just go with it.
Exactly.
This is what's going to happen, guys. We're not trying to suspect anybody who don't like this, and I'm sorry, and I understand your points of view, but this is the best decision we felt we should go with. Whether that is eventually legitly recasting or having somebody else become the new Black Panther, or if you just end up just having series do it, whatever you do, just stick with it.
Right. Yeah, no, and exactly. So they're gonna have to like stick to their guns on it. We have the chat giving hilarious suggestions right now for who should replace Black Panther. We have Pete Davidson could be cast as Black Panther.
Well, let me make sure. Is that the dude from Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Okay.
the guy who you don't even know what race he is, but he's that dude's hilarious. He's in the Suicide Squad movie. He's in the trailer.
He is. Yeah. I thought that was really funny, but I saw him. I was like, oh, that's cool.
We have Eddie Murphy as Black Panther, which would be interesting. Kevin Hart as Black Panther.
I can see the first meeting with Kevin Hart walking in there. Everybody looking straight. They gotta look down. Like, damn, T'Challa.
Yo, recasting Black Panther with Kevin Hart would be so funny.
Just have him in the suit, the Black Panther suit next to the Hulk.
Bro, it'd be like so funny. It'd be like that movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, where like the little dude is just leaning against this huge guy. That could be Hulk and Kevin Hart as Black Panther.
Yes.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Oh jeez. They should chill. What's it saying? Let's chill. But yeah, so I mean, I think I'm excited to see, because obviously we're gonna find out next episode. They're probably gonna do a little bit of small talk or catch up. It seems like they were closer to the Bucky and AO were a little closer than we know of. Maybe they bonded a little bit while he was in Wakanda. Because I mean, he was accepted more as part of, like you were saying before, he was accepted into Wakanda. He was cleared by Shuri of all the Winter Soldier activation words or codes, and yeah, I mean, he got his White Wolf nickname, and he recognized AO's bead, like her specific one, and seemed to know. He was like, hey, I was waiting for you to show up, kind of thing, instead of just I was waiting for anyone from Wakanda to show up.
Right. Yeah, that is true. So that's going to be very interesting. It's going to be fun to see where that goes, especially because they're going to have to address the elephant in the room with T'Challa at some point in time, especially when you have them show up. They're going to have to say something. So I can't wait to hear what they say, because that's probably going to give us a hint at what they're going to plan on doing in the future. So I'm definitely excited about that. I want to ask you one quick question real fast.
Sure. Yep.
So this here is actually we're going to go off a little bit. We're going to talk more about this on the next episode, but I want to get your opinion on one quick thing. So, and this is like a Dragon Ball question here, right?
Okay.
So I know you saw the video that I was planning on putting out. You saw pieces of that. Obviously, you saw that.
Yes.
I want to ask your opinion on something. So when the androids show up in Dragon Ball Z, when the androids actually show up, Goku has already died from the heart virus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now these androids show up and wipe out all the Z Warriors. Now here's my question. Does this actually make sense? So if we go back a little bit, Dr. Gero and the whole Red Ribbon Army was destroyed by Goku as a kid. So when Goku got older, Dr. Gero has been spying on Goku to get his revenge. And he's had like tiny little flies watch him and monitor his movements and his growth, and basically figured out how to make the ultimate killing machines. Now, Goku's an alien, and his power completely got to just catastrophic levels, where by the point when he was on Namek, he was capable of destroying the planet himself.
Okay.
Does it make sense that Dr. Gero, and he didn't even actually get any of the information on Namek, he only got Goku's information on Earth. So when Goku fought Vegeta, that was the last information that he got. So when Goku and Vegeta and them all went to planet Namek, and Goku ended up fighting Frieza completely tanked that fight, honestly, because he felt himself. Because if Frieza wanted, he could have killed all of them with ease. But anyway, he let the fight drag on long enough where Goku ended up becoming Super Saiyan after killing Goku's best friend. Goku becomes Super Saiyan, kicks Frieza ass, fights over, Goku wins. He got all that information just from his Earth fight. He didn't get any information when Goku becomes Super Saiyan. Does it make sense that he was able to create androids that was capable of wiping out all of the Z Warriors? where Vegeta at that point would have been as strong as Goku was, maybe a little stronger than Goku was when he was on planet Namek, and Vegeta dies too. Does that really make sense that he was able on Earth to create power like that?
I'm not sure because I'm not as familiar with the series.
Of course.
But
this is a question
saying that that he didn't know.
A person who doesn't watch the series.
Right. So if you're saying so this guy, without even knowing the full extent of the power capabilities, he was still able to create something
much stronger than them. Yes.
That could still destroy them anyway. I don't know, man, unless he's like some kind of super mastermind of evil that they're trying to play up, then no. If he's just like a regular villain character, I don't think that would make sense. If he's more of like a long-term evil genius, almost orchestrating moves like Baron Zemo to kind of relate it that way, then maybe it would make a little more sense that he'd just be prepared for anything and could make something like that.
Yeah, speaking of that, Benny Singles is going to be on the album too. Anyway, yeah, exactly that. And here's the thing that's funny about that. Dr. Gero in Dragon Ball is never shown. He's never shown in Dragon Ball when Goku destroys the Reverend Army. He's mentioned, and then eventually, obviously in Dragon Ball Z, he's the one who created the androids. But here's the thing. In the original timeline that Trunks come from, and I know a lot of people say the timeline that we got, that everything worked out to the original timeline. I don't really see it as that way. I see that as always the alternate timeline, because the original timeline is really Trunks' timeline when you think about it. And that's when everybody dies. Goku dies from the heart virus, so he doesn't even get to fight the androids, and the rest of the Z-Warriors get wiped out by the androids. But in that original time, Dr. Gero is killed as soon as he opened up the doors. The androids kill him because he took two teenagers off the streets and forced them into being androids, even though honestly they're cyborgs, not androids, because they can actually reproduce and they can they can have sex and have children. They can do all that stuff. So they're more cyborgs than actual androids. But anyway, when he opens the door for them, they flat out kill him when he wakes them back up. So he doesn't even really get shown. So when in Z, when he finally is shown in the alternate timeline, the one that we get that everything works out, he turns him because Trunks traveled in time, it ended up like changing a whole bunch of stuff where Dr. Gero turned himself and he had his assistant turned into an android themselves, much more robotic and more different than what 17 and 18 was. But anyway, he turned himself into one too, obviously much more weaker. But he ends up still getting killed by 17 anyway. And then 17 and 18 goes on to not be as evil, but they're still somehow stronger than what they was in the original one. I'm just saying, does it really make sense that Dr. Gero was able to do that? Definitely considering, honestly, to be honest, he was kind of a throwaway villain. He wasn't even a main villain whatsoever in that situation. He dies pretty early on, then it becomes 17 and 18, and the real villain is Cell. He's the actual real villain. So it's like, I always found that to be weird, that he can estimate power like that.
Right.
But he
also maybe it was a lucky guess.
Yes, a very, very lucky guess.
Right. Yeah. Could have been a very lucky guess.
Yeah.
He could have gotten away with could have gotten away with one there. But yeah, like I said, unless it wouldn't make sense if he's not a main villain, but if he was a main villain, I guess they could make it seem like he's been plotting this since whatever and has been, watching or researching or gathering intel, however he could possibly do it, and then building his machines. JBK's dad says, but then Neo made peace with the machines by killing the virus for them. And it all becomes the Matrix. Dragon Ball Matrix.
Yo, LeBron makes a Matrix joke in the freaking trailer. It's really bad.
That whole movie's gonna be real bad.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The trailer. I'm gonna finish off my Dragon Ball thing real quick. But the trailer of that Space Jam trailer, I want you to watch it, and because honestly, it felt like some bad acting from LeBron to me. From the little bit of the trailer I saw, I was like, "Oh, this is some bad acting." Anyway, the film's
on Dragon Ball. Not an actor. Yeah, Michael didn't do like a super. It wasn't Oscar worthy when Michael was in Space Jam. that whole movie was a little, questionable. So I'm not saying that they're professional basketball players, man. They're not, haven't gone through acting school since they were 6 years old.
I mean, that's true. I'm not even going front. I don't know if acting school is really beneficial for you being a great actor. Like, honestly, I think you either have it or you don't. I don't know if it matters too much of how much schooling you actually get from that. You're either going to be a good actor or you're just going to suck. Or just be not as good. But no, I feel you. You're right, though. LeBron is more of a basketball player. And I haven't seen Space Jam in so long that my initial thought was like, oh, Michael was better. But I haven't seen Space Jam since I was a kid. So I could be...
Remind yourself, man. Like, that movie was amazing when we were kids. But just remind yourself in the now of watch that movie and you'll just be like, oh, yeah. This wasn't that good.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. Be like, oh crap, my childhood. But no, the Dragon Ball thing, because we're gonna really talk a lot more about something next week. But I will say this: I guess I shouldn't say Dr. Gero wasn't a main villain, because at the end of the day, his androids was the main factor for everything going bad in the Cell saga, and Cell was created by Dr. Gero. And he ended up absorbing 17 and 18 to become the ultimate fighter. And then, of course, it led to Goku and them fighting him. This is all because of Dr. Gero. If he's not there, none of this happens. Mm-hmm. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, even though he wasn't there for long, he was essentially the main reason all this happened. So you can kind of say he was the main villain in a way. He just wasn't there long enough to like see everything go down. And he wasn't like the physical cause himself of everything that happened, but he was the cause of everything that happened. So I guess in a way, I guess he was the main villain.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I guess it would make a little more sense. And then again, maybe like he was doing some kind of intel gather when he wasn't, or like prior to him showing up.
Like I was saying, he watched Goku from after Goku destroyed the Red Ribbon Army as a child. He watched Goku grow up, and he's been spying on. That probably means he watched Goku have sex with Chi-Chi. He watched Goku do everything. He was spying on that dude everywhere. So that dude was probably watching Goku bang his wife and watching Goku shout at. It was some weird stuff. Not gross freak. Anyway,
this just took a weird turn.
Anyway, so he watched Goku. He watched Goku progress all the way up into his battle with Vegeta. I just found it so weird that he was able to figure out, like, because he literally says when he's fighting, when he's talking to Goku, and Goku starting to suffer from the heart virus, much different than the original timeline. Again, we're going to talk about some other. But anyway, when he's suffering from that, he's talking to him, and he's just like, yeah, how did you know all of this? And he's just like, yeah, I've been watching you since you was a kid, since you destroyed the Red Ribbon Army. I've been watching you do everything, blah, blah, watching you progress and this and that. And then that's when Goku asked, oh, did you watch my battles in space? And he was like, no, I didn't need to. I gathered enough information at that point. Then Goku was like, oh, let me show you. So then he turned Super Saiyan and started whooping ass. But yeah. Interesting stuff.
That's his favorite song, is that I've been watching you song. I've been watching you.
That's the song that's playing.
He puts that in the iPod and puts the earbuds in, and that's what he's jamming out to when he's watching Goku.
Yo, to be fair, that dude's he's an android himself now, so he don't even have to like turn it. He can like press a button.
Oh yeah,
and then that shit starts playing, and he's just like, yeah.
His nipple is the press play.
Button.
He just tweaks his nipple a little bit, and then music starts playing. Dude, that'd be hilarious.
He's
my god!
Why he's twisting his nipples? All right, this is getting weird.
Yes, Ian, I have been assigned the homework to watch anime. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Like, I can't find it anywhere to actually sit down and watch it. Because what I want to do is watch it while I'm bagging and boarding stuff. Because that's when I honestly have the most time to like put something on, is when I'm just sitting doing something as mindless as bagging and boarding. But I just haven't been able to find where I can watch it. But we did recently get HBO Max, and I'm gonna search there to see if I can find anything there to watch.
Again, obviously outside of like a subscription, like to like Crunchyroll or something like that, which you might not want to pay to watch, for that. So yeah, it's not that easy to find that stuff really on webs like that unless you like pay for it.
Right. But with that said, we have pretty much reached a little over an hour now, so we're gonna wrap it up. We have hopefully a video that we can get from Chris coming out this week, as well as I have some videos planned for this week on YouTube as well. Instagram is going to be popping. I know that tonight Comic Talks is going live with an auction on his Instagram channel, and then we are having a big sale this weekend on Sunday, where we're going to Charlotte Comic Con. It's going to be me, Justin, his buddy Cody, Ian is coming up from Florida, and Alexis is coming with us too. It's going to be a huge party, so that should be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's pretty much what's on the docket. Thank you guys for tuning in to our weekly live podcast. We're on every Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
I want to say this real quick too. Yeah, the video is going to be talking about, Monster Hunter Rise. It's going to be basically going down to more of a new perspective on the changes of what they did from a guy who played the past series and could not get into it to a guy who's now loving Monster Hunter Rise. So it's going to be a video about that. Let's kind of, to more people who are thinking, should they try this game out after trying the past games and then like it? You'll get a honest opinion on that from me.
There you go. All right, guys, we will see you next week. And as always, stay villainous and
fuck the Fantastic Four.
That's right.
You good, James? Hello? Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I was sitting there keeping a smile, and I'm like, okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that is weird that happened, that led to that. Yeah, that is very odd. Yeah, I think so too. I think that was a pretty good episode as well. Yeah, I think that was a really good episode, actually. We definitely need to. We did talk about a lot of things in that. Definitely fun. Definitely fun. So, yeah,